What's up, everybody? My name is Tommy. I'm the founder and national president of Inner Circle Auto Club, MC Club, and Social Club. I started back in 1992 with a club called Brooklyn Cutlass Club. It was one of the first 3 Spanish clubs that came into New York at the time. I rose up the ranks of that club from sergeant to public relations to vice president. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for us, or for me and a few other people, so we decided to leave Brooklyn Cutlass Club on good terms with the president at the time, and that's when we started in 1993 Popular Choice. Popular Choice was, or still is actually, a dream I had where I wanted to bring everyone together as a family unit. Not knowing too much about the auto club world, because I was only in it for about a year at a time, I came up with my own ideas, my own revelations, so to speak, to figure how the club scene should be run, because we weren't MCs, we were an auto club, which is a total different world. And to enter that world, being fresh, being new, because there was only 2 or 3 clubs at the time when I came in, we wanted to do something different. So we started implementing different things, like giving girls ranks and putting different cars rather than just Cutlasses or Regals. We decided to just put any car. And at the time, it wasn't about the car that we were bringing in, it was about the individual that was driving the car. Stayed the president for about 5.5 years. Things happened, I caught pneumonia, and I had to be away for a little while. And when I came back, things started going a little sour, and I decided to retire. And I retired from Popular Choice. At the time, a gentleman by the name, Vice VP at the time, Marvin, became the president. And I stepped away from the game for about a year. When I came back, though, because it's a fever, once you're born into the circuit or bred into the circuit, you just can't leave it. It's like a drug. You want to keep coming back to it, even though you know that there are fakeness there, you know there's a whole bunch of crap there, you still feel like you can make a difference in it, so you want to be part of it. So I created another club, Inner Circle. The name itself represents a group that's in a circle with everyone else on the outside looking into this group. We started in '99, and this is when a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people do know this, but for those who don't know, in 1999 there was the War of the Clubs, we called it. It was a time where clubs were fighting each other, auto clubs. This was a year where best friends became enemies. And everyone fought one another for the right to, I don't even know, to be honest with you. I don't even know why the clubs started fighting each other. This one said this and that one said this. We all know the cancer of all clubs is what? That's right, he say, she say. So this one believed what that person was saying and went at the next person without asking a question. This is where the war began. How did it end? Sitting at a round table and discussing things and trying to figure out how we're going to solve these problems. And we did. But at the time, my lady was pregnant at the time, and I decided to step away again. And Inner Circle was not shut down, but it was placed aside for future references, so to speak. We came back in 2005. I still had touches with the circuit. I still helped people. I still spoke to individuals about certain things, how to run a club, how to open a club. So we decided to reopen in 2005. And we did it with the intent, though, of not keeping it the same way it was, but keeping that family atmosphere that we started in '93 with Popular Choice. We got a few friends together who were originally members of Inner Circle back in '99, and we started it again. Now this year in 2005, a lot of people don't know this either, the explosion started again from auto clubs. Everyone started opening auto clubs again. I mean, Brooklyn alone had, 40, 50 maybe, small time, but then it started pumping back up again. And around that time, 2006, the BRONX started coming hard. So a lot of teams started opening up again. So in that range, I would say that the auto club started early 90s and exploded beginning of 2000s, mid 2000s. And now it's full-fledged. What can I say? I mean, we started, we go through ups and downs. We lost a lot of people. I mean, at one point we had 87 members. And you know, we have half that now. But like I always say, when the going gets tough, the fake get going, and you keep those real members. And those real members become your family, because you don't really get to know someone in 1 year, not even 2 years. You really get to know them after 2 years. That's when you really know someone, especially with them every weekend, almost every day. They come into your house, which is a great way to get to know your people. Let them come to your house, go to the house, spend time outside the circuit. You know, don't wear the vest every single time. If you really want to create a family-based club, you can't just keep doing it on the weekend and let's go hang out. Let's go party. You know, let's do family things too. Let's take the vest, put them aside. Let's go to the Splish Splash. You know, let's go have a picnic. In the wintertime, let's go play pool. Let's go bowling. You know, let's have tournaments within their own club. Things like that. That's what we did, and we got strong. We got real strong. People are ambitious also. You have members who are ambitious, people that want to move up, and they think that being a rank is important. And then when they see a rank terminated or let go because they weren't doing their job, they're the first ones to step up. But when they get that position, they go back to being the same member they were before. You know, they'll step up for a short time, and then they'll start to fall back when they got what they wanted. I mean, you can do that in any club. That's how it is. You know, we as presidents, as founders, as leaders, you know, and I hate to use those words. People like to say, they call me boss man. I cringe when I hear it because I feel funny. I don't want to be considered a boss man. I'm going to consider your brother. Some people say you're like a father to me. You know what? That's a compliment. An honor to hear that from a person who you didn't know 4 years ago. You know, and you just met them with you for 2 years, and they look at you and say, you know what? I can come to you with anything. I can talk to you because I know you're going to keep it 100%. You're going to keep it real with me. You know, and never lie to your people. Never lie, because the minute you start to lie, it'll come out. And when it comes out, who's made to look the fool? The president. When the president's the fool, who's going to follow a fool? You know? So no matter how strong you think you may be right now, sooner or later, like I said earlier, everything's going to hit that fan. It's how you handle it when it comes. When the fan is turned on and it's smacking you in the face hard body and you can't keep your eyes open, how are you going to keep your members? How are you going to deal with the pain and the sorrow that comes with being a president? I used to tell Dutch, my president of New York right now, I told him when he first became president, I warned him. I said, Dutch, it's a lonely life being a president. It's a lonely life being a leader of a club because you're the one who's responsible for everything and everyone in your club. Now some will say, no, it's not like that, you know. But like again, when the shit hits the fan, the first person they go to is who? The president. They're not going to go to the VP. They're not going to go to the PRO. They're not going to go to the secretary. They're going to go to the president. What's the problem? And it's up to that president to either deal with the problem that he's dealing with right now or punk out and be like, well, I don't want to talk about it, and then start some more problems, you know? There's people out there looking at clubs and saying, oh, you know, I want to start a club too in the future. I don't think that's a smart idea. You know, I think be part of a club, be part of a family. It's not easy being a president. It's not easy being a freaking sergeant for that matter. Having a rank is a job, it's a duty you said that you was gonna do. So when we get mad at you or we look at you wrong and we talk down to you in a way that, let me rephrase that. Talk down. People say, oh, you can't speak to me any way you want. My family knows that when I speak up with anger or talk, it's not talking down to you, it's talking to you with knowledge so you can understand why I'm talking to you like this. That's when you earn that respect from them. I can care less what people think about me. I can care less what people think about my club. The only thing that matters to me is the way my family feels towards me. If my family loves me and really proves that they love me, I don't give a crap what other people think. You know, other people would be jealous, which I think that if you're jealous of any president, you should just turn in your colors and go become a school teacher or something. Because honestly, you shouldn't be jealous of anyone. There are going to be teams that have 5 times the members you have clubhouses, have better bikes and cars than you do. So what? In my eyes, I'll always have better people than you'll ever have. Because my family is more important to me than anything else in this world. And to have an extended family is a gift and an honor and a privilege. So treat everyone with respect. If they don't give you the respect back, well then, let them go. See, like I was telling my family in the car when we were coming up here, I said a lot of presidents get mad and pissed off when a member leaves their club. If a member leaves your club, there's a reason why. The turnover ratio of clubs depends on the president itself. If half the team leaves the club, it's because the president failed. A lot of people may disagree with that, but it's the truth. A team that doesn't want to go anywhere and wants to be part of the club is because they love the direction of the club. The direction that the club is going. So who's the leader? The person who leads the direction is the president. So if the president does the right thing, his members are going to do the right thing and want to be part of that. So understand that it all falls down upon the president at the end of the day. The president has a system of VP, PRO, and down to help the president along in its journey to create a better tomorrow. And if the president can't do it and his ranks can't do it, well then, change the ranks up.
All right, Tommy, so what can you say has been the biggest change from when you first came in up in 92 as to what it is right now in 2013, almost, what?
21 years ago.
21 years ago.
Yeah.
There's people that are in the circuit that are not even 21 years old.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's a good point you touched on right there. That's a big difference. There are a few things I see, some good, some bad, and some worrisome. The good is that back then in 92, 93, 94, 95, like people like Phil and Lowe, Man Lowe, SPMG president, Phil from the Click, they'll tell you the same thing. It was more about their club. You know, it was more about what we can do for each other. There was the family thing of going outside and doing community service really wasn't there yet. You know, it was just getting to know your club and trying to flex up who got the most members. You know, who's the strongest. And I didn't like that concept. You know, but we fortunately Popular Choice was huge back then. I mean, real 137 members and 131 cars. We were very big. I see that we were older back then as well. I was 20, oh Jesus, I'm not even gonna give my age away, but I was in my early 20s at the time. And now they got 16, 17, 18-year-olds in the club. They put girls who are 16, 17 in social clubs just to be part of the club. To say, I got this many members because she's in a social, she's not in the order yet, she hasn't graduated yet. You know, or something like that. And that's the shame of the game. And another thing I want to say, this is not a game. A lot of people like to say game. You know how when last time we interviewed, I can't stand that word. I mean, it's not a game, it's a lifestyle. It pretty is a lifestyle. It's the way you choose to be. I mean, you have OMCs who rock leather and boots and tattoos and earrings and long hair, you know, and then you have the ACs who wear the Jordans and everything else, and just, it's a lifestyle. Depending on how you want to live your life, that's what it is. I've always was against bringing 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Unless, and here's the only unless that person has a problem. Their family issues, their mother, father, their step-parents or whatever is abusing, or they don't have no place to turn. You want to take them away from that. You want to give them a purpose. So I would put them in, not a social, but to hang around, you know, or have my girls hang with them, just to keep them, you know, into that mix. Now we have a couple that are pretty young, 18, if I'm not mistaken, and I was against it because one of my rules are you got to be 21 and over to be in the club. But I brought them in because I felt that they needed that guidance, and the only one who's going to be able to guide them, in my eyes at that time, was us. So that's the difference I see from now when it comes to his age factor. We need to grow up a little bit more. If we're going to bring people of young ages into our club, we need to make sure that they're mentally able to do it. Not bring them into the club and they're 18 years old and the first thing they want to do is how many girls are in that club. Let me see if anybody's single. Let me see if I can hook up with somebody. And that goes for men and women. You know, the club scene is not a breeding ground for your sexual pleasures. Yeah, I'm OG, I'm old school. That's what I believe in. And nobody can say that I try to run at them from any club. And I think that we should get back to being a little bit more respectful towards one another and towards our women and children. Now, the difference is now there's more community events. And that's why I wanted to speak upon you. One of the things I told you a long time ago when you asked me a question about 5 years ago, in 2007 or 2008, you asked me, tell me, what would be like your thing? What would be your dream? And I told you, I said, to have every single club in the circuit come together to save one life. You did it. You did it. You did it. And that's a dream that I had, that you just closed the door, bucket list, scratched. I didn't have to do it. I don't have to be the one. I always tell members, yo, let's not be the story. I'm sorry, let's not be the front lines, the headlines. Let's be the story. Because everyone looks at the headlines for the first, but they're gonna read the story. So let's be the story and not the headlines. Let's be the people who bring the food, not the people who serve it. You know what I'm saying? So what you did, and what Storm 300 and everyone in the Bronx and everyone who got involved in it did, was what I wanted to see happen for 20 years. Everyone come together to save one life. Because if you save one life in your lifetime, you made a difference. And if you can make that difference, then your life has meaning. At least that's the way I look at it. So congratulations to you, all of Storm 300, all of One Way, everyone who's involved in that. That's something that should go down in the history of auto clubs, of this circuit, as one of the most important things ever done in this circuit life. So that's something I want to commend you on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else is different? Well, we all know that, what do we consider ourselves now? We started as auto clubs. Are we still auto clubs? Or are we MCs now? I mean, I'm an auto club president. I started as an auto club president. I have a president from an MC. I have a president for MC in Pennsylvania. You know, we have 6 chapters now, with Ohio as well added to it. And each chapter has their own president. Each chapter makes their own decisions. If it doesn't work well, then I would say something about it, try to change that up.
So, that's a good question to ask. So, in each state, is the lifestyle, is it different?
Absolutely it is. It has to be. No one's New York. I mean, this is the Mecca, you know? I mean, this is where it all starts. Plus, there's 7 million more clubs in New York than everywhere else. You understand? So, yeah, it's different. I mean, PA, one of my strongest chapters. That, if you want to talk about family, right there. And they do the family thing. They have they're the throwback. PA is the throwback of New York when it was in 1993. Will be PA be that in 2033, 20 years from now? They'll probably be New York, like New York, 1,000 clubs. But there's more order over there. People are not just allowed to say, I'm going to open a club and do it. You know, they have to go through the right channels, talk to the right people, and then, you know, be given the blessing. And not to the part of saying that you can do this. I don't believe that people should be told what to do or how to do it. I like to discourage people from doing it because it's a problem. And if they can't handle the problems, it creates more of a problem. So before you think you want to become a president or open a club, learn what it is to be a president. And if you're able to deal with the bullshit that comes with it, because I promise you that you're going to be good in the beginning. I've seen a lot of clubs come and have 100 members one day. A few months later, they're down to 20 because there are different personalities in every single club. No one has the same personality. And if you cannot juggle those personalities and learn to deal with them, you are going to fail and your whole team will fail. And not only will you be looked at as an outcast, you'll be looked at as a laughing stock. Why even? I got 100 members. I'm the bomb. I won the most trophies. Yeah, but 5 months later, you're down to 10 members and you're forgotten. There's a lot of people that are there out there right now like that. You know? Listen, like I said, I'm not trying to like sugarcoat anything, I'll be honest with you. When I see a club walk into a party with 1,000 members and win most rep 5 weeks in a row, I'm like, well, congratulations for them. Trophies don't mean anything. It's the support that matters. You can go to a party or to a house with 5, 10 members and spend $500 at the bar. You can go with 100 members and spend $500 at the door. Who's more important? It's the same. It's the same. People don't realize that. They look at, oh my God, this team has 100 members, so I'm gonna show more support to them because you think those 100 members are gonna come. But then when it's down to the final day, my team will go with 5 and buy 6 bottles from you and spend more money than they did at the door and the bar combined. So it's about showing up to everyone and respecting everyone for who they are and what they can bring to the table. But ask yourself this, what can you bring to the table besides going to parties all the time? What can you do for your community? What is your mission? What mission did you say that you was going to start when you said, I'm going to be a president? If you don't have a mission, then your club has no direction. Have a mission first, and then you can move forward by being a president.
All right, Tommy, so when you first started out of it back in '92, who were some of your mentors?
Well, in '92 when I first came in, it's a funny story of how I joined the circuit. The circuit wasn't really a circuit back then. It was just, you had Cadillac clubs, you had Oldsmobile clubs, and you had Toyota clubs. And then Monty SS came out. It was more like a G-body kind of thing, and a Toyota kind of thing, and a Cadillac kind of thing, with the Cadillacs being the dominant force at the time. From new generation to white ghost to bumper. It was interesting. We were the only Spanish team going to these parties, and it kind of felt funny. But after a while, man, it felt like family. You know, you walk into the house and it's like, what's up? And there's no color barrier there. You know, there should be a color barrier now. But my mentor, when I came in, his name was Hooker. His real name is James, but I guess his street name was Hooker. And he was a good dude, man. I mean, he is a good dude. I haven't seen him in probably like, wow, 13 years. But last I heard, he was doing well. Stan was doing well. He was the one who brought me in. I kind of learned from him. He was the one who gave me the rank up to the VP of that club at the time, Brooklyn Colors Club, and I learned by speaking at meetings all the time, because I was the one, everyone knows I like to talk. And I used to do the meetings for BCC, and he stood in the background. And that kind of got me the knowledge that I needed, because I used to read off people while I have a meeting. See, because when I have a meeting, and I like to look in everyone's eyes, and I like to read them and figure out how they're feeling while I'm talking, whether it's bothering them or it's not, or maybe I should touch on something else to correct that feeling. I have a good sense of direction when it comes to people and their intent. But my number one mentor is Spanky, founder of Bumper to Bumper, 1976, the original auto club, first auto club that came out in Brooklyn. And he's the president now, I think, of Highlanders Van Club. Still in the game. I mean, he's not in as well as he was before, and it's someone you definitely want to hear from in the circuit life.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon.
Spanky was definitely my mentor. He will always be the person I would like fall back upon if I needed to. I speak to Spanky once a year, maybe, you know, and it's not as like it used to be in the past. But when I left BCC and I was sitting at his bar, and I'll never forget this. I was sitting at a bar. I think it was New Generations Club at the time, and I was sitting at a bar and I didn't have my colors on. And I'm sitting there looking I'm sitting with my head down, I'm thinking, and Spanky walks up to me, he goes, Tom, what's wrong? Because that's the kind of guy he is. He cares about people. I mean, he truly, really does, you know? I love that man and everything he stands for. And he's the reason why I continue to do, or I actually started the club because of him. And he says, what's wrong with you? No, I said, told him the situation I had to leave BCC and why. And he was like, listen, bro, you're like family to us, you know? Why don't you take some time, and then if you want, you could come to my club. Mind you, I would have been the only Spanish person in that club. And I didn't have a Cadillac. And he still tells me to come join him. Kind of showed me something right there, you know? That it wasn't about the car. It was about the person, how you feel towards that person. So it kind of like, it was like, I think a spark that hit me, you know? And I took a couple of days off, and I thought about it. And his words struck, and as you can see, I mean, you're talking almost 20 years later, and it's like, it was fresh. And it stood with me, and when he said that, I said, you know what? Why don't you just do what you feel is right? Why don't you go ahead and start a club, see where it goes. If it doesn't work, hey, it doesn't work. 20 years later, Papa Joyce is still here.
All right, Tommy, so where do you see Inner Circle in the next 5 years? And where do you see the circuit also in the next 5 years?
I see Inner Circle along the East Coast, all the way down. I would love to have chapters in every state, as I think all presidents who have or ambitious would like to have. But what I want for my family is to continue to be a family. I want to see them happy. Knowing I can't be in every state with them, I want to make sure that they're all good. And I want to make sure that everyone's happy. That's why I want Inner Circle to be 5 years. I don't care if they open businesses like others want to do or have 1,000 members. I don't care. As long as Inner Circle's still out in 5 years, that's what I want. As for the circuit, here's another dream I had that I want for the circuit. OMCs have what they call a table, where people sit on that table and they decide the fate of clubs wanting to come in to be OMCs or MCs. All the clubs should have that same thing. We should have a table of presidents who've been here long enough. And I know they were trying to start something like that too. I don't know if it even went down, if they continue to do it or what, but to have a table of original clubs or original presidents who will sit down and listen to someone who wants to become part of the club, a part of the scene, I should say, and sit there and tell them why they want to be part of the scene. I mean, almost out of the freaking movie, you know? Just to sit there and why do you want to be part of this circuit? Why? What's your reason? You know, and agree upon them to be part or not, rather than say, I'm going to shut them down when they come out, or I don't want to see no more clubs coming out. Again, you are not their daddy. But if you have a board of trustees, or whatever you want to call them, of auto clubs, who will sit there and say, why do you want to be part of the circuit, and tell me why, and if they come up with an answer that fits what you tried to do, because now you're sitting at that board, you deserve to be there, so Remember, you weren't at that board a long time ago. You was the person, should have been the same person sitting there asking the next board. I just want to see a board, a real board, a board of auto clubs that's been in the circuit forever, that know the circuit, and that's how you regulate the clubs coming in. I want to see the clubs don't let people into their parties with vests and they don't even know who they are. Just because they're wearing colors doesn't make them legit. You could have 600 guys walk into a party wearing the same vest. You could have 500 people in there who are rapists and killers. You're gonna let them into your party because they have vests on. Know the teams that are coming out by them approaching you and saying, this is what I want to do. This is the way you regulate auto clubs. There won't be 1,000 anymore. You know, I mean, tomorrow we close our eyes and 5 members left our club and 5 new auto clubs open up. You're gonna support them because they come in with 40 people to your party? That's the first mistake. Have some kind of thing where you have an order of things. Make people earn it. And follow, and I hate to use the word protocol because protocol has been thrown out the window. Follow protocol. 6 months, they have to ask the president if they can join another club. A year, they don't have to ask anyone. But know the people you're joining. They're joining you because no matter what, I'm gonna ask people who want to join me. Were you in a club before? Yes, I was. What club were you in? And why did you leave? Are you still cool with the people in that club and the president? If not, I will call that president to find out what's wrong with you. If you have any problems with that president, then you will not be part of my club because I don't need the headache. Just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Follow what you said you was gonna do when you said you was gonna be a prez. You was gonna be a club. Just do the right thing. Stop putting full patches on people to make your numbers higher. The more patches you have, the more problems you have. It's almost like the more money, the more problems. The more members, the more problems, because now you're bringing more diversity into your club. If you can't handle what's there right now, what makes you think you're gonna handle 20 new members that come in? Get to know everybody, prospect everybody, make them earn their colors. And then everything should be smooth. No more wars, no more problems, no more he say, she say. That's what I wanna see in 5 years.
All right, Tommy, this is a little bonus question for like everybody, but like I feel that it's very like important. Like when I first met you years ago, probably what was this? 06. And there was a president's a meeting in your clubhouse, and that was like one of the first times that I met a lot of other presidents from Brooklyn. Can you touch on really what was the purpose
of that meeting?
And like the bylaws for the auto clubs that you helped print out, and so if you can touch on that, like for everybody to know.
Sure. The meeting in 2006, I called some of the OG presidents and I wanted to have a meeting really quick because, like I touched on earlier, there was an explosion of clubs coming out in 2005, 2006. And all these clubs that were coming out, of course, they have no idea what bylaws are. They were written probably 10 years prior to that. We wrote bylaws back in the days to follow some kind of direction. Again, give us a purpose.
And so that was due because of the wars?
No, no. The wars was in '99. The bylaws were written in '95.
Oh.
Okay, the reason why, or 96, it was 95, 96 in that time frame. I know Phil was there and I know Van was there. The reason it was written was because there were a lot of clubs coming out again in 95, 96. It's to the point we wrote them just to give everybody a purpose. This is what we think, because we all sat together and we said, well, what's the real reason why we're doing this, and what kind of laws should we put in place? And of course, 99% of those laws aren't being followed now. I remember once the president said that, oh, those bylaws were written 20 years ago, things have to change. And why? If it worked for 20 years, why change them now? But we wrote them and we put our ideas into them. And we put definitions of what every rank is, because we wanted everyone to have like an idea of why we're doing this and what laws, because everything should have some kind of law to it, what laws should be followed. The reason of the wars of '99 was because no one started following. That's what I fear now. You see, it's reoccurring. no one's paying attention to the laws anymore. And since no one paid attention to the laws in '99, it caused a problem. Hopefully we don't have that problem coming up, and that's one of the things I want to avoid. That's why there are bylaws. Please follow them, learn them. You know, it's not, you don't have to. You know, you don't have to follow, you do whatever the hell you want to do, it's up to you. But if you really want to do it the right way, look at them. If you feel something should be added to it, then create your own bylaws for your own team. You know, I mean, but the bylaws of the auto club scene were written to prevent breakout wars. And if we don't follow them and we continue to do what we're doing, sooner or later, someone's gonna push the wrong button and it's gonna start over again. Now with all the coalitions, and peace and love to all the coalitions out there, Movement, Ghetto Coalition, and I pretty much don't know all of them because I don't follow all the coalitions, but I know that they're doing the right thing by each other, and each of them probably have their own rules. I know Movement does, you know, so the bylaws are written to give us an idea of what direction we should take, sort of like a map. And it defines every single rank and what their duties are supposed to be. That's pretty much why those are written. I'd like to give a shout out to the whole Circle Nation. If I didn't shout you out, Connecticut, PA, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Florida, and a whole lot more coming soon to you. I'd like to give a shout out to the whole movement team. Much love, respect to everyone in the movement. Shout out to the BRONX. Major shout out to Phil. Major shout out to Manny, TY, all the OGs. Glad to see you still guys are still here with me. That's pretty much it. Mad love. Circle.